share about few things. Anyone can read Luke chapter 18 verse 27.
And he said, the things which is promised with man are possible with God.
My message also the same thing. It is possible or impossible, I don't know. Okay. Today I am going to talk about the things which are impossible with man are possible with God. Every time we are thinking everything is possible. Some things we have impossible things in our life. First of all, I want to say the first point. The life of the ways are impossible to man, but possible with God. The life of the ways are impossible to man, but possible with God. In order to this point, I am going to bring out verse is Exodus chapter 14, 20 to 24. Anyone can read? Exodus chapter 14.
And it came between the camp of the Egyptian and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to place, so that the one came not near the other all the night. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. And the Lord cast the sea to go back by a strong east wind all the night, and made the sea dry land. And the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground. And the water were a wall unto them on their right hand and their left.
Everyone knows that this, before also I took this passage and preached here. But why I bring this passage here again? Because of these things are not possible thing. If you look at the Red Sea, divide the Dead Sea, it is not possible. When you look, the Egyptian people, they follow the Israel people, and they were in struggles, and they see the big sea or Dead Sea was there. They have no way to go here or there. No way. Only one way is crossing the Dead Sea. But you have to think about it. Human cannot possible to cross the Dead Sea. If he can sing, human can swing, up to 1 minute or 2 minutes after we may tire. There is no possible to swing here to that crossing the Dead Sea. But there was a story I read. This is from the illustration I heard from our Samson, 6 or 5 years ago. Here, General Convention. He says a story like this. One small boy was sat on a park, in a snow park like this park, sitting and reading the Bible, Exodus chapter 14. And one gentleman came, and he's a gentleman, he's a professor, but he doesn't believe the Bible or something. But he saw that small boy reading the Bible, and he observed him. Why he reading the Bible? And again he saying hallelujah, hallelujah. And that man got angry and came to that boy and asked him, what happened to you? Why you are saying hallelujah? This many people are here. No. Why I say? Because I read this passage that God done the big work to the Israel people. And he asked, what he done? And he said that people of Israel no way to go the Red Sea, but God divided and they entered the Dead Sea, and God made the dry land, and they walk to the inside the Dead Sea, and they passed. And that gentleman, why he say that? He said that this brother, this is not belief. A boy don't believe this one because of this is the stories. I think that gentleman, I think that that water should up the knee or something. They can walk and they cross that much only. That boy very discouraged when he say, because of he believe our God is that man come and say that there is no possible. He very discouraged, and he was reading the Bible continually, and he was got little more away from there. And again this boy has said that hallelujah. And he made that man got angry. Again came. Why you're saying again hallelujah? No, why I say means our God say that here, Exodus chapter, if you look through, all Israel people are, all Egyptian people are swinging to the water, plunge in the water. It means not that that things are not possible, impossible things. The same like our life, impossible way are there. No possibility to go. Some financially, some struggles, impossible to go. We may sometimes, I said to my mom also, Mom, there is only way to get the money for us, for our study, my sister study. I said to my mom, there is one way in bank, we don't have much money. And I said to my mom, and she said, only one way that bank we get money. That is the impossible thing to get bank money. The same like, but some years passed, and she going to complete her course. The same like in our life, some impossible things that is financially or something like this will come in front of you. If you believe things which are impossible with man, that is possible with God. If you believe which things are impossible with man are possible with God. And secondly, I want to say that the death which is possible to man, God made death impossible. And with this, in order to these things, I want to read Daniel chapter 3, 19 to 26. Anyone can read? Daniel chapter 3, 19 to 26.
There was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace once 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty man that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fire furnace. Then these men were bound there was their hosen and their hats and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fire furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, and flame of the fire slain those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fire furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished, and rose up in the haste, and spake, and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of fire, and they have no one, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God.
Okay, everyone knows that this story. This passage is talking about the Nebuchadnezzar image. That when Nebuchadnezzar made an image, and he said every people to bow down before the image, and the all people came and bowed down the image, and there are few people they did not do that. And that Nebuchadnezzar came to know whosoever didn't bow down before the image, and call them, there is Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. And he asked some questions to them. Why did not do? Because of this is the king command. He commanded him, you have to bow down before the image. But the king cometh, but also they never didn't do that. And king said to the king cometh like this, have to make fire, heat the furnace on 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. 7 times, not 1 time. Even we very afraid to touch, axe with, lamp or something. We know that what if we touch, or one will be burned or something. That is 7 times. And Nebuchadnezzar said, and some mighty men come some mighty men to catch the Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. And when Nebuchadnezzar called, that mighty men came, and they were catch them. But I believe why they call the mighty men, because of if you are a normal man, if you go the 7 times of burning that fire, it may get the giddiness, maybe they may follow. That mighty men are not like this. They are the fighters, maybe the strong guys, they can face everything. This way they brought. But the funny thing is there, when they are brought into the fire, when you put in the fire, that mighty man's all body has burned. But the thing is, impossible thing what happened there. When they are in the fire, that mighty man's hand or something, they are burned. Already itself they are burned. But still, Abednego, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego inside the fire. Hallelujah. That which is impossible to man, God made possible. God that impossible. Every time in our life, I heard last time, he talked about this. He faced through the death. That is not possible to come. Human cannot bring the death, life again. Only God can possible. In my life, this big thing happened. It is when I was born in my hospital. In hospital, there hospital, that doctors are there said this child already he died, no way to come out. And I don't know. That's my father is saying he cried. My mother is saying she cried. Whether I don't know they tried or but they tried. I know because of they know if the son, if the only one son. When I was I'm the younger, they get only the first one, and they know the pain of that. They cried, and my father is still. He said he has to say he was say that I was crying still that hospital. Said the hospital kneel down and pray for you. I heard so many times this story, but still I'm thinking that kneel down and pray. My mother also, she was crying for me, and after 1 hour, 2 hours, that possible thing, God, impossible thing, God bring the possible to my life, and I came from the death, and I don't know that's thing that my father is saying to me. But there is no possible, and they only submit it to God to put the name Job. But after some time, I know that my name meanings when I check, I'm very, very no problem. But there is one kind of suffering, no problem. But what I'm saying that which that are impossible in our life, not possible to our man. That is God made that impossible. And lastly, I want to say the last point I want to say, heaven which is impossible to man, God made possible. Genesis chapter 3, 1-7, one person can read.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Hey, hath God said, "You shall not eat of every tree of the garden." And the woman said unto the serpent, "You may eat of the fruit of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die." And the serpent said unto the woman, "Ye shall not surely die, for God hath not that in the day of ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they know that they were naked, and they spied fig leaves together, and made themselves uproads.
Here we can see that when God created Adam and Eve, and God it kept in, we are here daily, we are hearing this story, and we are hated the story now, and we know that story. God created Adam and Eve, and they put it into the Garden of Eden. And from this one, I want to bring the heaven which is impossible to man, God made possible. Why I bring this story? That sin which has started from the Adam and Eve. When God said, "Don't eat the fruit," they eat fruit. From there, we got the sin. And no way, no possible to come from sin, and no impossible for heaven for us. Because of the sin, we are impossible for heaven to us. We know very well that. But there was a one king. What is the shelter? King shelter, and every morning their some children come to and garden. They come and they play the garden, and every morning they are coming and disturb the king. Whenever the king got up, and he has to say, "What happened? These children are shouting there. Send them out." And when the people try to catch, they will run away. They will run away from there. And there's so many days that it was happened, and Satan strictly he made a big wall for that that area, big wall, and he made a big wall, and he said that now they cannot enter inside because of I made already the wall. They cannot come in the garden. When the children were coming inside the garden, they're very happy because of all bats are crying, the bats are flying here and there because of the bats are children never do anything to that bats or that small animals, squirrels or something. And when they are sent out from there, they made the big wall and they cannot come out. And the thing is that king he understood. Because of I'm getting up early, because of the children, they are shouting in the garden, and so many days he not happy with that, because of his children is not there, no bats are not coming in the garden, that fruits are not eating there, that fruits are falling down, and at last the children they got the small hall, the wall, they find out the children are very cunning because of they know how to go, enter inside because that big man cannot enter, but the children they will enter. How the way they will find out the way, and they enter inside the garden, and suddenly the king heard the sound. All bats are crying. Then the king understood the children enter the garden. All bats and all squirrels, all the things came in the garden. And what he did, he slowly went there and that each other talking. If king come, then first ran from there. They are saying like that, and king he heard this one, and when they playing in the tree, that he heard the sound king coming, and all children are ran from there. But still one small boy was sat on the tree. He cannot go from there, and he tried to jump, but he fall on there. But king he done, he took the boy and he put it in the shoulder and called everyone in the garden. This king realized that because I am got up in the morning because of the children's, their sound, the birds are enjoying, and we are happy for them. The same way, God, when they sent out from the garden, God still loving us. God, we are not worthy to enter the heaven. Not possible to enter the heaven. God, He knows, and He sent His Son in the world, and for us He made possible to heaven, and He came down to the world. Instead of sinner, if a sinner die, then no value. But sinless blood, His Son, He sent the world, and He make us, and He possible to enter the heaven. Are you really believe impossible thing God can happen? God can do it? Do you believe that God can do impossible things? Do you believe God can do the impossible thing in our life?
Yes.
God can. Everything God can do. Don't discourage about that. That is impossible. I can't do it. The things which are impossible with man are possible with God. Just relax. And I want to read one scripture, that is Psalm 180 verse 8 and 9. One person can read 8 and 9.
Psalm number 180 verse 8 and 9. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Verse 9. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes.
They say it's better to trust in the Lord. Don't trust the human. The human cannot do the impossible thing. Better to believe or trust in our God, that things which are impossible to us, they are possible to God. We all are agree. We all are agree that God can do the great thing in our life. We all are agree God can do the big possible things in our life. We all are agree impossible thing in our life. Why we not sing the song How Great Thou Art? Let's sing to the song, and at last Brother Online will pray and we will conclude.
wonderful.